This isn't going to end well for you, Blake. Sorry.
In a world where sometimes people judge you before they give you a chance.
Parties, of course, meeting for the first time in court today. It was about a 90-minute hearing.
I'm just going to tell you, you're going to have to wait and see. It's coming up soon.
Hey there, my gorgeous drama detectives. It's your girl, Madison Starr, serving you all the scorching tea from the front lines of Hollywood's latest mega showdown. And honey, believe me when I say you're going to want to buckle up for this one. Because Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively are locked in a courtroom battle so intense the entire industry is gagging at the spectacle. And let me tell you, the tea is steaming. Now, if you've been MIA from social media or living under a rock, let me give you the quick snapshots. Blake Lively slapped Justin Baldoni with a massive jaw-dropping $250 million lawsuit, accusing him of sexual harassment. Justin Baldoni refusing to roll over, countersued for a whopping $400 million, citing extortion and defamation.
Actor-director Justin Baldoni is now suing his former co-star Blake Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds, seeking more than $400 million in damages, accusing them of defamation and extortion.
The pair just had a major day in court, one that lasted about 90 minutes, and let's just say, from the looks of it, Justin walked out victorious on every single argument, leaving Blake's side flustered and reeling. Yes, babes, you heard that right. A mere 90 minutes in court, and the scoreboard is reading Justin 1, Blake 0. Actually, scratch that. From what we're hearing, it might as well be Justin 10, Blake negative something, because oh my gosh, the meltdown on Blake's team is real. If you're thirsting for details, trust me, I've got them all. So grab your iced latte, your comfiest seat, and let's dive into the day's drama, bullet by bullet.
Are you going to sue Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion, Megan.
It all started apparently when Blake decided to go public with allegations of sexual harassment against Justin. She initially approached a major publication, the New York Times, where she shared her claims, giving Justin a mere 12 hours to respond before the story went live. That's like telling someone the house is on fire and they have half a second to save their prized possessions, or else swift, relentless, and truly overshadowing any chance for Justin to come out swinging. But guess what? Justin had zero intention of playing the victim. He marched into the ring with a countersuit so large, $400 million. It made everyone's head spin. We're talking about an amount bigger than some small country's GDP. Why so massive? Because Justin claims Blake's allegations are baseless, that she defamed him in the press, and that she attempted to extort him to get, well, some hidden agenda. We're dealing with star-level sums, obviously, but even by Hollywood standards, these numbers are extreme.
Listen to me, Blake Lively. Tap out. Tap out. Call uncle right now. Please take my advice. I don't feel like I am like octagon side, UFC fight, and you're like, oh my gosh, is this guy's neck gonna get snapped? Please just tap out. Be done. Be done with this. Ref, please call Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds out. Just call this out. Because I'm telling you, they are not going to win this.
When an A-lister like Blake Lively, adored for her comedic flair, red carpet glamour, and perfect marriage persona, accuses someone of sexual harassment, it's huge. But when the accused fires back with an even bigger lawsuit, we're in territory so uncharted, it's basically a Hollywood meltdown we haven't seen since Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard, or something equally high profile. So you can imagine the entire industry is biting its nails because the reputational stakes alone could be career ending for whichever side loses. So, after weeks of online speculation, the day finally arrived for a preliminary hearing. Picture it, a packed courtroom, cameras swirling outside, fans clutching homemade signs, both teams looking polished but anxious. And guess what? In just 90 minutes, Justin's legal eagle basically walked all over Blake's arguments, leaving her side floundering. One big name you gotta remember, Brian Friedman, Justin's powerhouse attorney. This man apparently strutted into the courtroom like he owned the place, determined to keep every promise of suing Blake into oblivion.
Are you going to sue Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion, Megan. I'm just going to tell you, you're going to have to wait and see. It's coming up soon.
So let's break down the day's key battles. Right off the bat, Blake's team aimed for a quick kill. They requested a gag order on Friedman. Because, honey, if you've been paying attention, you know he's been out in the media, on talk shows, possibly tweeting, giving interviews, basically fueling a press war with no remorse. He made it crystal clear from the start, if Blake is going to tarnish Justin in the media, he's going to turn up the volume to level 10 on his own narrative. Blake's lawyers claimed it was impossible for them to keep up with Friedman's constant revelations.
They went on to complain that Friedman was being too chatty, saying that his constant interviews and media appearances were making it impossible for them to respond in time.
Blake Lively's lawyer does not like Brian Friedman and says he is being way too chatty about this case to the public, giving them little wiggle room to respond in the court of the public opinion.
They whine that each time they try to respond to something he said, he's already moved on to the next nuclear bombshell. They wanted the judge to muzzle him so that they'd have room to breathe. Sorry, not sorry. The judge took one look at the request and pointed out that Blake's own legal team has been more than chatty with the media too. So how fair would it be to silence Friedman but let Blake's side keep talking? Answer, not fair at all. This led to the judge denying the gag order.
Judge chose to not impose the gag order on Justin Baldoni's attorney Brian Friedman today, but did threaten to move up the trial if the media press war continued.
He did, however, toss out a gentle threat. If the press war escalates further, he might move the trial date up, forcing both parties into the ring sooner than expected. But for now, the judge basically told Blake's side deal with it. One for Justin, next. The tension escalated when Blake's lawyers brought up that Justin planned to launch a dedicated website for this entire legal fiasco. Yes, a website with all the receipts, footage, transcripts, lawsuit documents for the public to peruse. Essentially a central hub for Justin to defend himself, releasing proof in real time.
The lawyer also brought up the website that was put out this weekend, saying Blake's lawyer also complained about Justin Baldoni's new website dedicated to the case, telling the judge they think this is improper. Brian Friedman, his lawyer, defended this by saying that Blake's team is doing the same thing, citing the New York Times article where Blake first made her sexual harassment claims against Justin. He says the paper only gave Justin 12 hours of notice.
If you're thinking, that's savage, you're not alone. Because as soon as Blake's side heard about it, they apparently lost it, accusing Justin of turning the trial into a media circus. But guess what? From a PR standpoint, it's a genius move. If Blake is going to throw allegations at Justin through major newspapers, why shouldn't Justin harness the power of the internet to showcase his side? Again, the judge wasn't impressed with Blake's protests. Friedman hammered home the point that Blake started this with her public allegations in the New York Times, giving Justin no chance to respond properly before the story broke. So if Blake can do that, why can't Justin go public with his evidence? The judge sided with Justin, effectively saying, yes, you can keep your website. Win 2 for Justin.
Baldoni's team launched a new website over the weekend, featuring an amended legal complaint and a 168-page timeline of events, including newly released text messages allegedly sent between the embattled stars of It Ends With Us, as well as Lively's husband, actor Ryan Reynolds. One alleged text from Reynolds to Baldoni expresses his excitement about It Ends With Us, writing, "This is going to be incredible. I happen to adore you, Justin."
In legal battles, depositions are basically the scariest part for anyone with secrets to hide. You're put under oath, forced to answer questions from the opposing counsel. No spin, no little PR statements, just raw Q&A that can and will be used against you in court if you slip up. It's like a direct pipeline to the truth, or at least a carefully extracted version of it. Blake's attorneys tried to do something unusual. They asked the judge to let Blake choose who would depose her. They specifically did not want Brian Friedman to handle it. Some might say, well, sure, maybe she wants a female lawyer or a gentler approach. Others would say, if you're that certain of your claims, does it matter who's asking the questions? The judge basically laughed it off and said, no, ma'am, that's not how the law works. Blake doesn't get to pick her own opposing interrogator. That's the entire point of a deposition. The opposing side gets to ask the hard questions. This is not a casual coffee chat. It's a legal process.
Counsel for Miss Lively has made it clear that Miss Lively does not want Mr. Friedman to be the attorney who takes her deposition. We are unaware of any situation that would warrant the deposed party to have a choice in which attorney takes her deposition. Parties to litigation simply do not have the right to decide which of the other opponent's attorneys may or may not take their deposition or perform any other aspects of the opposing party's case. And essentially, the judge agreed and told her lawyer that she does not get to choose who deposes her.
When 3 for Justin. And oh my gosh, can you imagine the meltdown in Blake's camp when that ruling came down? You bet it was epic. Now you might ask, why is Blake so frantic to avoid Friedman? If she's telling the truth about her allegations, shouldn't she be ready to face any question? Great point, babes. Possibility 1. She's simply worried about being bullied or cornered by a particularly aggressive attorney. Possibility 2. She doesn't have as solid a case as she claims, and she's terrified Friedman will catch her in inconsistencies. Possibility 3. This is purely a tactic to stall. Some legal teams try to create as many hurdles as possible, so the other side eventually offers a settlement out of frustration. But the judge's stance was crystal clear. If you're serious about your claims, you'll have to face the tough questions eventually. No more dancing around it. In other words, you can't accuse someone of sexual harassment and then run from cross-examination. Another significant development:
To move as quickly as we possibly can and prove our innocence in a world where sometimes people judge you before they give you a chance.
the judge decided that both lawsuits, Blake's $250 million claim and Justin's $400 million countersuit, would be consolidated into one case. Instead of separate, drawn-out legal wars, we're getting one big, fiery legal drama. This means they'll handle it all in a single trial scheduled for March 2026, unless they decide to settle beforehand. Less time to stall. With one case, you can't keep jumping from one lawsuit's hearing to another. One shot. Both sides have to come armed with all their evidence at once. Max drama, the synergy of these claims means the trial will be an absolute spectacle. We're talking about the kind of coverage that could overshadow any celebrity meltdown in the last decade. Let's address the elephant in the room. Blake Lively's entire brand has been built on comedic wit, philanthropic ventures, family-centered messaging, and an impeccable social media presence. She's America's sweetheart, if you will, but these allegations and the subsequent meltdown have started to erode that pristine image. Some remain. Team Blake insisting she must have valid reasons for calling out Justin, pointing to how women in Hollywood have historically been silenced. Others side with Justin, claiming that the more they learn about the suits and countersuits, the more it seems Blake might be overplaying her hand. If she truly ends up losing in court, the financial and reputational damages could be catastrophic. Not to mention, a $400 million debt is insane for almost any Hollywood star. Does it threaten her brand partnerships, her future roles, or even her place as a beloved A-lister? Possibly. This trial could shift everything. A huge question that keeps popping up: where is Ryan Reynolds while his wife battles these monumental lawsuits? Because let's face it, if Blake has to cough up $400 million, that directly affects Ryan too. They're a power couple, but nobody is rich enough to shrug off that sum. The combined net worth of Ryan and Blake is reportedly in the ballpark of $300 million, $350 million, depending on which gossip rag you consult. $400 million is more than that. Possibility 1. Ryan is quietly supporting Blake behind the scenes, trying to keep the family afloat while she does the legal dance. Possibility 2. He's strategizing with top PR experts to salvage whatever brand image might remain if this trial goes sideways. Possibility 3. He's furious and pressuring Blake to settle. Let's be real, no matter how upset he might be, nobody wants to lose the family fortune. We don't have concrete proof of Ryan's stance, but you can bet your bottom dollar that behind closed doors, tensions might be sky high. Because the risk is not just about losing money. It's also about the blow to public image. If the star couple can't recover from this, it might hamper big projects, endorsements, and future opportunities for both. If you're thirsting for even more detail on the day's legal fireworks, here's a quick bullet list. Court session kickoff, 9 a.m. approximate. Justin arrives in a tailored suit, exuding confidence. Blake arrives with her entourage, looking tense but trying to appear composed. Brian Friedman's entrance, he doesn't mince words, apparently referencing Blake's own PR stunts and telling the judge how Blake's side weaponized the media from day one. Blake's lawyers scramble, they push for the gag order, complaining about Brian's interviews. The judge denies it, mentioning the pot calling the kettle black factor. Website wars, Blake's team rants about Justin's new website. Friedman retorts with, if Blake can go to the New York Times, Justin can go to WordPress. Judge sides with Justin again. Deposition panic, the biggest meltdown from Team Blake. They want to choose someone else, not Friedman, to question her. The judge denies it, basically stating, no, that's not how depositions work. Closing statements. The judge warns about the public press war. He also merges both lawsuits, sets trial for 2026. By the end of that 90-minute session, you could practically see the frustration on Blake's face. Social media rumors say she left in a hurry, ignoring paparazzi questions, while Justin was all smiles. Big difference in body language there, folks. Now we have to wonder, with all these early losses, can Blake salvage her situation? If she ends up going to trial, she might face the risk of defeat, paying Justin $400 million. Let that sink in. That figure is mind-blowing, even for a top celeb. Career repercussions. Getting branded as the actress who lost a massive defamation/harassment case? Hollywood might politely distance themselves. Directors, producers, sponsors, they might want to skip the drama. Possible settlement. One route is to attempt to settle out of court, but how do you settle with someone whose entire strategy is to prove he's innocent and she's guilty of extortion? Justin's motivation might not be money alone. He might want a public apology or the chance to clear his name thoroughly. If Blake apologized publicly and dropped the suit, would that solve anything? Possibly. It might help her avoid a monstrous payout, but what about Justin's countersuit? He could still push forward, claiming the damage has already been done. The reputational cost to him, he'd argue, is significant enough to deserve compensation or a public retraction. Let's not forget, modern Hollywood battles play out on two fronts. Actual court, where the judge and jury eventually decide the legal outcome. The court of public opinion, where fans, social media, talk shows, and YouTube commentators shape the narrative. Blake's brand is taking a beating as more people question her credibility. Meanwhile, Justin is taking advantage of every public statement and media platform to present himself as the wronged party. If he can keep that momentum, by the time the actual trial arrives, Blake might be entering the battlefield with half her supporters already gone. Case in point, the website Justin's team launched, it's a cunning PR move. By giving the public direct access to the evidence, Justin is controlling the narrative, and controlling the narrative is half the battle in big celebrity lawsuits. If Justin emerges victorious, we might witness a seismic shift in how studios approach star-driven controversies. Usually when an A-lister like Blake Lively claims harassment, people side with her out of fear or brand protection. But if she's proven to have made false accusations, or if the court sides heavily with Justin, you can bet that executives, producers, and sponsors will take note. They may be more cautious about automatically believing big-name stars, which could have ripple effects for the broader industry dynamic around allegations and accountability. Conversely, if something shifts and Blake wins, it reaffirms that powerful actresses can and should be taken seriously. But given the day's events and the rising tide of support for Justin, that outcome seems less likely based on what we know so far. Never say never in Hollywood, babes. We could see secret evidence from Blake. She might have something mind-blowing that she hasn't revealed yet, waiting to drop it at the perfect moment. She might throw a bombshell that discredits Justin fully. Settlement under the table. At any moment, the two sides might realize they're risking career destruction and decide to settle in a hush-hush deal. Then we'll be left to speculate. A PR 100, Blake might orchestrate some philanthropic or empathetic rebranding, turning the public tide again. She's known for comedic comebacks, but can that overshadow a massive lawsuit? As it stands, though, the momentum feels firmly in Justin's corner. That momentum is key in these high-stakes battles. Once you start losing in the court of public opinion, it's an uphill climb to reverse it. Mark your calendars, babes. Unless a settlement or some new meltdown arises, March 2026 is the big date. That's ironically a ways away, giving both sides plenty of time to amass more evidence, hurl more allegations, and wage a media war that could spiral into absolute chaos. So we're talking about potentially years of coverage, rummaging through receipts, depositions, and behind-the-scenes drama. What does that mean for fans? Possibly a trickle of leaked documents, more interviews from Brian Friedman, more attempts by Blake's lawyers to salvage her image, and maybe even a cameo from Ryan Reynolds if things get desperate enough. The possibilities are endless. Let's talk about the man of the hour, because he's shaping up to be the star of this drama. Brian Friedman, Justin's attorney, has earned a reputation for being absolutely ruthless. According to numerous sources, he's the kind of lawyer who will comb through your entire digital history to find that one tweet from 2013 that proves you're lying. A gag order might have been Blake's best hope to rein him in, and we all saw how that turned out. She lost that round. Friedman's vow, he apparently promised to sue Blake into oblivion. Now, that's a big statement. But from the day's court results, it seems more than just hot air. The man is unstoppable. So far, no wonder Blake's side wanted him to stay away from her in a deposition. He's known to be laser-focused in cross-examination, sniffing out every contradiction. If Blake's story has any holes, he'll exploit them. Let's not forget the original impetus, Blake's sexual harassment claims. Are they genuine, or are they part of a malicious plot, as Justin claims? We can't take such allegations lightly, especially in a post-Me Too world. Typically, the industry has shown strong support for women who step forward, but this case is complicated by the countersuit scale and the hints that some big puzzle pieces might not align with Blake's narrative. We haven't seen any direct statement from potential witnesses or on-set colleagues who might corroborate or refute Blake's claims. This leaves the public to guess. The real evidence could come out in depositions or actual trial. If Blake's allegations are valid, it's horrifying. But if Justin proves them false, it sets a chilling precedent for how the public and media might react to future harassment claims. So the stakes are huge on a cultural level too. Financially, a lengthy legal war is expensive. The longer it drags, the more attorney fees pile up. If they truly go to trial in 2026, that's nearly 3 years of legal bills. Are we talking millions in fees? Possibly. Emotionally, a trial can be draining. The depositions alone are stressful. Add to that the daily PR battles. Blake also has a family. Ryan might be juggling his own career. It might push them to settle if they sense that 2026 will be a disaster. Publicly, the damage to Blake's image intensifies each time she loses emotion or an argument in court. That's another reason they might try to settle earlier, hoping to mitigate further negative press. Because each new hearing seems to produce another wave of headlines. Blake Lively loses another motion. Judge sides with Baldoni. Friedman humiliates Blake's lawyers. Not exactly the press she wants. Right now, it looks like Justin's side is controlling the narrative. Friedman is unstoppable, spitting out new statements and revelations practically every time a camera is on him. Meanwhile, Blake's side is flailing, trying to muzzle him. That alone suggests who's currently on top of the PR scoreboard. Blake's big mistake might be that she struck first with a big media outlet, but gave Justin no time to respond. That act came off as manipulative once Justin revealed it. She effectively shot herself in the foot by setting the stage for a press war, only to discover that Justin's better at it. On top of that, building a website to showcase his evidence, pure brilliance in a digital world. If it continues at this pace, Justin might be the sympathetic figure to neutral observers, while Blake is perceived as trying to hide from the tough questions. That's not a good look for a star who's built her brand on authenticity and candid humor. The internet is abuzz speculating about Ryan Reynolds. He's known for comedic tweets, hilarious feuds with Hugh Jackman, and big box office wins. But so far, he's a ghost in this scenario. Might he eventually pop up in an interview to defend Blake? Or is he steering clear because any statement could be used as evidence? Scenario, if Ryan publicly comments and sides with Blake's claims, it might bolster her position. But if he's dragged into depositions or cross-examination, that's a powder keg. Because if he can't confirm details or if his statements contradict Blake's timeline, it's game over. Possibly, his silence is strategic self-preservation. We keep tossing around $400 million like it's petty cash. Let's visualize it. Homes, jets, yachts, yes, even lavish Hollywood stars might not have that kind of money lying around. Lifetime earnings. For Blake, that might surpass her entire career's net worth. Financial ruin. If the judge rules in Justin's favor for the full amount, how do Blake and Ryan even pay it? Are we talking selling properties, handing over assets, or partial bankruptcy? Career impact? Once you're bankrupt or you owe that kind of sum, studios might see you as a liability. Insurance rates for productions might spike if you're attached. It's not just a matter of writing a check. It's the potential end of her star power in a real, practical sense. Early on, many fans presumably stood by Blake, believing she wouldn't lie about such serious allegations. But after these repeated courtroom defeats and the revelations about how quickly she launched those allegations in the media, you can sense a shift. Social media comments reveal some fans are second-guessing her. They want more clarity, more proof. Could she recover? Possibly if she suddenly drops bombshell evidence that justifies every move she made, but that window might be closing. The more time passes, the more Friedman sets the narrative. More gag order attempts, Blake's team might try again, possibly with new reasons, but they'll probably fail unless Justin's team crosses a line. Depositing fireworks, expect a dramatic showdown once Friedman deposes Blake. If that session leaks, and you know the media will want it, It'll be front page scandal, potential settlement. Soon as one side fears they might lose big, they might push to settle. But will Justin accept, or does he want to clear his name in open court? That's the big unknown. Ryan's involvement, if things get worse, Ryan might be deposed too. That would be a spectacle in itself. This fiasco is not just a tabloid story, it's a cautionary tale for Hollywood elites. The era of Me Too taught us to believe survivors, but it also taught us that false or exaggerated claims can ruin lives. If indeed Blake's claims are false, the blowback on the culture might be huge. Alternatively, if Justin is in the wrong and is manipulating the press, that's also horrifying. The truth matters, and it's up to the court to sift through the sensational headline. Furthermore, celebrity feuds can get unbelievably messy when they're taken to court with huge dollar signs attached. The industry is watching, learning who has the best lawyers, who handles PR crises well, and who crumbles under pressure. After that 90-minute hearing, it's safe to say Justin Baldoni walked away with a grin, while Blake Lively might be on the verge of panic. Each request from her side was shot down. Each complaint about Friedman's tactics was denied. The judge even threatened to expedite the trial if they keep sparring in the press, which might ironically favor Justin, who's already revving at full throttle. Will Blake fold? We can't say for sure, but the writing on the wall looks grim. If she continues down this path, she risks a monstrous legal loss, the potential destruction of her career, and a meltdown for her personal finances. The clock is ticking. Could she salvage things? Possibly. If she reevaluates her strategy, maybe pursues a quieter settlement, or if she truly has evidence that will stand up to scrutiny. But so far, we haven't seen it, and the judge's ruling suggests she's fighting an uphill battle. What about Justin? He's confident, apparently armed with piles of receipts, and uses the internet to his advantage. The website is up or in progress, showcasing evidence to the world. He's got Friedman, a legal bulldog, on his side. The momentum is unstoppable so far. All right, babes, that's the lowdown on the dramatic 90-minute court session that's shaken Hollywood to its core. Justin Baldoni basically scored a hat trick in legal victories while Blake Lively and her team scrambled to catch their breath, with the judge refusing to gag Justin's attorney, refusing to bar that new evidence website, and refusing to shield Blake from a Friedman-led deposition. We're witnessing a meltdown of epic proportions for the once untouchable actress. Now, the trial's set for March 2026, giving us years of potential leaks, public spats, and social media warfare. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and ring the notifications bell, because you know the next bombshell is just around the corner. Will Blake wave the white flag? Will Ryan Reynolds step out with a statement? Will Justin ramp up the website with daily revelations? The tea is infinite, babes. Remember, this is a cautionary tale about the power of allegations in Tinseltown. The money at stake is mind-bending, the reputations on the line are huge, and the drama factor is off the charts. It's not every day we see a star face the possibility of paying out $400 million. And it's definitely not every day we see a countersuit overshadow the original claims so quickly. Sound off in the comments. Are you Team Blake or Team Justin? Do you think Blake will find a way to regain control, or is Justin unstoppable at this point? And how do you think this fiasco will shape the future of how Hollywood handles allegations? Let me know your theories, because I'm dying to see where you stand on this. Also, share this video with your friends, your family, your hairstylist, because trust me, everyone's going to be talking about this legal showdown for a long, long time. I'm Madison Starr, signing off with a reminder that in the game of Hollywood lawsuits, it only takes 90 minutes to flip the entire narrative. Stay messy, stay blessed, and keep sipping that tea, my loves, because this story is far from over.